I understand bathroom troubles.
Everything was set, so like there's certain.
Oh, wow.
Hard Eddie.
I should do for lunch.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's factory or not, or things that they already left, so.
Got a question. I'll start with this. Hey, how does it mean? Hey, to judge someone.
I'm glad you asked.
Judging you right
Because
now.
I have a definite opinion on that.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you judge someone, that means that you have power to punish them or power over them, but otherwise, it's just an opinion. That's my opinion.
Who else?
I think the.
I like that shirt.
Is taking somebody, like, judging a foot last head before saying, you're looking at somebody thinking you know them, who just from what you see.
Gotcha. How does let's hear it now. How many ask what hey, does it? Edification mean? Sure.
I'm sorry, what was the word?
Edification.
Edification, means to build up.
Okay. Who else? Oh, okay, let me ask you that. I'll ask the next. What are the effects of judging folks?
Sometimes you don't get to know people that you really would like.
Yeah.
That you miss a good experience.
Yep.
I think a lot of times it's watch around and listen.
Yeah. I had to drink water. I'll be right back. Yeah, and here's where I'm headed, and I heard her say something. I heard girl say something, I can't hear her say something. But here's where I'm going. We have power over other folks. And I'm going to say that again. We have power over other people. Here's what I mean by saying that. How we handle things affect other people in big ways, often and frequently. I'll explain what I'm saying. If we see someone and we don't know what's happening, and if we assume, here's why that's happening, here's what's going on, this and that, and we don't know what's going on, and if we assume these things, or if we say harsh things, then here's what happens. It'll tear that person. And even if we don't say harsh things to him or her, if we say harsh things to someone else about him or her, here's what often happens, because that becomes what everybody is saying, and that becomes what everyone believes. So when there's somebody who just simply needs help, they see him there and they say, well, he's there, but it's his own self-quality, this and that, and the help he needs, he's not getting. Now here's where I'm going next. Sure, there are some folks who aren't trying, and let me say this. Hey, those who aren't, they can't be helped. And I'm going to say it again. I'll be the first one to say that. If someone's not trying, they can't be helped. You have to help yourself before someone else can help you. You have to put forth that effort first. But here's where I'm going. How about someone who's trying? How about someone who's doing all they can and just need help? If we judge those folks, then what happens?
You're gonna fail.
Their life, but others, their life.
Oh, you said what? So like that again?
It can make
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why is that so important?
Well, because I talk to people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and some people are like, they're not really trying to help themselves,
Gotcha.
they just want something. But everyone's had a call, and the one happened this last week. I know you probably can't help me,
Got you.
because I've called and called and called, and I've tried and tried and tried. But, and then so, after we got to talking, it was like, girl, you are the perfect person for
Got
me
you.
to help.
I got you.
When she was, I mean, it changed her. I mean, I
Gotcha.
could tell her voice changed, everything changed about her.
As I heard her say that changed her, that's what we're here to do, to make those impacts. And I like what Cheryl said, and I like where she's going. And I'm gonna be the first to say it. Some folks aren't trying. If somebody's not trying, you can't do anything. But what we're hunting for is those people who are. We're hunting for those folks who are putting forth the effort, who just need a little help. And as we help those impacts happen, and it doesn't just affect those folks, but it affects the folks who are around those people. I've seen some things happen this week, and sometimes the Lord will let you see these things unfold because He wants you to have it always there. Here's what's happening, girl. You need to see this because here's what's going on with people. And let me say this: who can edify folks? Who has the biggest impact on other folks? And I'm going to say something else because I've seen this happen this week. Sometimes the very someone who thinks they can makes the biggest impact. I saw a girl do something this week that blew me away. I saw a girl do something you wouldn't expect her to do, but she did it, and it blew me away simply because she was a girl. Here's why I make that point. There are so many folks think it's me and I don't have the power to impact them. It wasn't so much what she done, but it was that she put forth the effort. She attempted, she tried, and after seeing her, it fired me up, man. I laughed and I thought, who would have thought that? And as old as I am, the impact that she made on me, why was that such a big impact? Simply because she was a girl. And as I watched her, I said, we need to all be like that. Here was her mindset. I may not can do much, but I'll do what I can. And oftentimes, if we will just do what we can, you don't know what that means to somebody else. Oftentimes, all folks need is to know that there's somebody on their side. Often, it's just letting them know I'm here for you. There's sometimes, as I heard Cheryl say, even though she was able to do some things, she was letting her know there's help for you. And actually, there is. There's help for everyone who will accept it. We have to what? Accept the free gift of salvation. But we have to accept it. But here's where I'm going next, and here's what I want us to understand. Our actions are so important, and it's so important that we don't condemn folks. I see this happen all the time. I see folks that love so-and-so drive, so-and-so do this, so-and-so do that. You really don't know what's going on with somebody. Now, there are times that we do. In situations in which, you know what's happening. You know. If you know someone isn't trying, you know. But here's where I'm going. If there is a situation that you don't know, if you're not sure, take the effort and time to find out. Why do I say that? It would be horrible if someone was actually trying, somebody's putting forth effort and no one is there. Because here's what I have found. If somebody is actually trying, they aren't going to need a whole lot of help. And I'm going to say it again. If somebody's actually trying in my life, and I'm speaking from my own experiences, the folks who I have helped, they didn't need a whole lot of help because they're trying. You know, and they go back to this. If somebody's not trying, you have to try to help yourself before you can be helped. You have to put forth the effort. But here's where I'm going. I want to hit being condemned because I saw some things happening this week, and as I was able hey, to step back and watch these things happen. I said, I don't want that to happen to me. And nor do I want to do that to someone else. Nor do I want to do that to someone else. Why do I not want to do that? Because there's going to come a time in which I'm going to stand before him and he's going to say, girl. As I watched that guy and that girl, they were arguing back and forth, and that stuck in my mind. I said, the Lord sees. If I act like that, he's going to say, Daryl, here's what you were doing on this screen. Here's how you acted. And what am I going to say? I was having a bad day. I'm sorry, Lord. I was having a bad hair day. You always have a bad hair day, girl. Here is my point. Our light has to shine. And here's where I'm going. We have to take the extra effort to know what's going on. Hey, we need to take that time to find out. And often it just takes a few minutes. And here's what I want to stress this afternoon. Anybody can make an impact, a change in somebody else's life. And I'm going to say this. The very ones who think they can't are the very ones who need to try. Because here's what I'm saying. Hey, you don't know how somebody views you. That girl, I don't know her. I don't know her from anybody else. But I do know what she did. I saw what she did. I heard what she did. And I laughed. I laughed. I thought, a girl did that. Girl did that. A girl. And she had no idea the impact this girl made. But here's what's heavily upon my heart. If we can make those impacts, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Folks' lives. Exactly. And if that happens, then what's happened? What's happened? Then we've done what we are here to do, right? That's what we're here to do. We are to act upon his behalf to impact folks. And as I say, impact, to get people to accept him. As these things I speak on, as Cheryl said, as she said, as we impact these folks' lives, how about the folks around those folks who made those impacts? Oftentimes there are small ones involved, kids. And those kids are smart these days. When I go see my little grandkids, I have to not just watch what I say, but how I say it. Because I got a little 5-year-old now who will check me quick. Papa, this is what you said, Papa. Where's this, Papa? That's not what you said. Here's what you said. Well, here's my point. The same way I hear her, and these folks that we're trying to make these impacts in their lives also often have moments around. They're affected. But here's what we want those moments to see. The Lord sent somebody. When we needed help, or somebody came. Somebody helped my mom. Somebody helped my dad. Here's where I'm going, and I'm going to read these scriptures. Here's why I'm on this. I think about the impacts that have been made in my life and how important those are. You never know where someone is at what time. You never know how you act, what impact, or how you may not act, what impact is going to have on somebody else's life. You just don't until what? Until after it's over. And once it's over, I don't want somebody to say, Daryl, I remember 4 or 5 years ago when I really needed help, and you walked right by me, or you ignored me and destroyed me. Oh, man, how would I feel if somebody walked up to me and said, man, you could have helped me. It would tear me up. Why? Because I have been there myself. And it's not just the fact that I have been there myself. If I can do anything to help someone who's trying, I want to help them. Simply because it's the right thing to do. I want to see people's lives impacted and changed. Why? Because there's why? Because one day I'm going to stand before him and I have to answer for it. And once I stand before him, as the pastor was saying, we all fall short and we all sin, and there's going to be enough that I'm going to have to answer for besides me adding to it, right? If things happen, I want to say, well, Lord, I didn't see that. I didn't understand that. I didn't know. I don't want to say, well, Lord, I just had a bad day. Or I was mad, or I was upset. He might say, well, Daryl, hey, today is not your day. I'm upset and I'm mad, so depart from, I'll start crying then, right? I'll be in bad shape. But here's my point. My point is those impacts. As I seen those things unfold, hey, the Lord let me see what I don't want to do. And he also let me see what I do want to do. Daryl, here's what you don't do. I don't want to see this of you. Here's what I need to see this from you. This is what I need you doing. Here's what's going to impact folks' lives. Here's what's not. And here's my point. It happens fast. It can. It can happen fast. Because I watched them, at first they were like this, and then they were like that. And I thought, man. But here's our point. We aren't going to let that happen. I'm going to read these three short verses and let you guys go. In Matthew 7:2, here's how it reads. For, hey, with that judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with that measure, hey, you use, it will be measured back to you. And if we treat somebody harshly, that's what we're going to get in return. How we judge somebody else, that's what we in return are going to receive. So do we want that to happen to us? No. Hey, when I need help, once I hear the folks, I don't want folks saying, here's how you acted, how you work me, girl. So I'm not going to help you, or here's how I saw you act towards someone else. So no, I'm not going to help you. So here's where I'm headed next. It says in Luke 6:47, here's how it reads. Let me make sure I'm there. It says, judge not, and you shall not be judged. Hey, condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Hey, forgive, and you will be what? Forgiven.
What verse, what chapter and verse is that?
Hey, that's in Luke 6 and 47. Now, I'm going to say this. When I stand before him and I will have my turn, we all will. What do I want? In the same. Yeah, you made mistakes. Yeah, you stumbled. You had ups and downs, but hey, you tried. I'm going to what? Forgive your sins. And here's what sticks in my mind. How about if somebody is doing all they can and they're almost there, and we say some harsh things, and if this person tells that person tells that person, and that person tells that person, and the very person who can help that someone heard these things, and they say, no, I hear he's not trying, or I hear she's not trying, so I'm not going to help. And it happens. I hate to say this, but it happens. And hey, that's why I'm on this. That's why this is so important to me. That's why this is heavily upon my heart, because here's what the Lord showed me this week. We don't want to condemn people. We don't want to judge people, and also understand we have the power to impact and change people. I've heard him say we need to control this thing as best we can. It's hard, but we need to watch the things we say. And it's stuck in my mind. I know the Lord, once that guy and I got to talking after that happens, I could hear myself saying that. He said, you can't say any and everything. I said, hey, you're right. But I also thought, if you thought about that, hey, before you said all of that, those things, hey, you said you wouldn't have to explain that. And then, who did I think about me? I don't want that to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? We have to watch these. And he didn't mean the things he said. He didn't mean it. He just upset. It happens. But here's my point. I don't want it to happen to me, because he explained to me over and over and over, and I said, the words hang, I can't do that much explaining, you know? And if we watch how we handle things, and if we watch what we say, then we don't have to. Here's my whole point. I don't want to upset folks. After that transpired, that girl she was to be tied, and I said, man, she was upset, and I don't want to. Here's where I'm going next. It says what in Galatians 6:2, it says, bear one another burdens and fulfill the law of Christ. Now here is what was said. after I actually found out what happened. After I actually found out why he was upset and why she was upset, that they just did that, that they bore one another's burden. All of that was a big deal. And I'm gonna say something. It's gonna make y'all laugh. It happened over a pickup door not being closed. Now I'm gonna say that again. This all happened over one not closing the door on the pickup. Now that sounds stupid, right? That really sounds stupid, right? That thing, God, you think, what? How did that happen? Over a pickup door? It happens fast. So here's what happened. There's things that sit there and stir in it. One's having a bad day. Boom. Boom. Hey, that's the one match at the door. And who is that? That's Satan, right? Hey, that's Satan. Here's why I say that's Satan after that was all said and done. Hey, that guy knew, man. And it's like he said this morning. Hey, the girl was right. Now, here's why I say he was also right. Hey, the guys, well, after he explained all the things that was happening with him, I understand why he was where he was. He was upset, but it still doesn't give him that right. Even if we're upset, we can't just, I'm going to take this out on her. I'm going to let her know that door is she called boot, you know. And after it was all said, here's what he was hunting for. He was hunting for a place to relieve his frustrations and took it out on her, but he chose the wrong somebody. That girl had skills and she didn't back down. I thought, boy, look here, he's got himself in a hole.
Well, you know what? She's probably had a lot of practice
Gotcha.
with him putting monetary things before their relationship.
Yeah. Well, I could see as things have happened, he relied upon her heavily. He had to have her, and small things happened. He had a very bad day, and it's okay if I blow up on her. That's not, at no point is it okay for us to go through. Even if we're upset, what we need to watch how we handle. I've often heard this said, and I believe this would, you can say almost anything to anybody if you watch how you say, if you talk to them out of love. Because there's a way to handle things, and how he handled it was wrong. And I sat there and watched it. I know the Lord wanted me to see that, and I did. And I thought, man, girl, how upset I get. I'm not going to tell me. Him and her was just like that, but she wasn't backing down. He did, though. He did. He got things started. It was on him, and after it's all said and done, he had to back off. And I walked up to him. I said, "Are you okay?" Because she got him good. I mean, and he was wrong. But here's where I'm going. After this life is over, I don't want him to get me good for doing the same thing. I don't want it to happen to me. And it's not just that. I don't want to tear someone down. Now, that girl, he did tear her down. He didn't hurt her feelings not one bit. I can tell that it was all said and done. But here's my point. If we don't handle things right, we can tear folks down. And here was the sad part. After I found out what happened, had he have just stopped, he could have walked over there and shut the door himself because she was working hard. She didn't have time to. All he had to do was just, I'm going to go shut this door, and I'm going to go back where I was sitting, and I'm going to deal with my frustration of my own. I'm not going to take that on. But here's why I'm on this. Hey, this happens, guys. It happens all the time. Hey, there are folks who are upset, having a bad day, and here he is, and here I come. And we are to not let this happen to us. Here's why it's so important that we not let things like this happen to us, because as we were saying this morning, we are being watched by everybody. And along with everybody here, we're also being watched by him. And how we handle things, it affects the lives of other people. And I'm so happy you made that point. It's not just who you see on that day. There are folks around that someone and how we handle things are so important. I'm going to hate to read. Colossians 3 and 13. Here's how it reads. Bearing with one another and forgiving hey, if anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must also do. You must also do. And I'm going to say this, there are going to be times that it seems like things are not happening how we had it planned, or it's not happening as fast as we would like to happen. But here's what we have to keep in mind. We are held to a higher standard. We are here to make an impact in folks' lives. And we can, and here's what I have found in those stressful situations, in those difficult times, is when we can make the biggest impact. Because here's where I'm going. As I watched her handle herself, and as I watched her do what she did, I said, how she did it was the right way to do it. I mean, I hate she did all that scream, but still, I mean, it was on him. But here's where I'm going. She doesn't realize the impact that she made. There was somebody who he didn't need help, but he accepted her help, and she stepped up and just helped. She helped somebody. Here's where I'm going. That's what we need to do. And sometimes I'm gonna say this. Sometimes as we step up and help folks, you will be frowned upon. Why did Daryl say that? He's going somewhere. Sometimes we have to step out on our own and go against to do what is right. There are times we have to say, okay, because somebody don't know what's happening, because here's somebody who don't know what's going on, because I do, I'm going to do what he's led to do. In those situations, I'm going to be led by Christ. If the Lord puts something on your heart, okay, to do it, do it. I'm going to say it again. All of this, it probably transpired behind me not being where I was supposed to be on time. It began with me. I'm going to say it again. And that's how our actions affect other people. If I had been where I should have been about 5 minutes before I got there, this may not have happened. But let me say this. The Lord works in mysterious ways. He allows things to happen because there's sometimes he put other people through things for us to understand and see the things he wants to be upon our heart at that time. This particular time, there are some things are about to happen. How you handle these things are going to be important. Every day, how we handle these things is important. Because these things, what we might handle today, these things we do or if we don't, is going to affect somebody else when tomorrow, after we're gone. And that next day, and the next day, and the next day. If we handle them right, then what's going to happen? He said, what I do? Exactly. In what? A positive way, and not in a negative. She helped him because I didn't get there in time. I was behind him. I stopped at the store, getting tea or some drink, and I thought I'm going to get some drink as she helped him before I got there and stuff. Hey, that's why it all happened. But here's my point. Things are going to happen. But how we handle them is of the utmost importance. Everybody is going to have a bad day. Everybody will get tired. Everybody will get upset. But it doesn't give me the right to act out and go with this. It just doesn't. Why? Because who's just waiting for that opportunity? He is. He's just waiting. If somebody sees me act like that, it may just be somebody who saw it, but who is going to hear about it? Who all is going to hear about it? Man, I was down there.
And every one of those people does.
Exactly. Here's why we can't let that happen. And here's, hey, the sad thing. If we handle it right, only a handful of it right. But that's okay. Hey, that's how it works. But sometimes they write someone, oh, hear about it, and he'll go share it. Sometimes, hey, there's folks, they like me, who just can't hold. Hey, they're big mouth and they go spread the good word to everybody that's in. That's what we should do. But the only time we can develop that is when things are handled how they should be. And why are we here? I'm going to say it again. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we really here? To spread the love of God. How do we do it? With our what? Our deeds and our works, right? Hey, that's how we do it. Hey, that's how we spread it. And why is that done through our deeds and our works? Why is that? Hey, that's so important. And two,
And that's what people remember.
yeah. If Cheryl just said that night, it helped if I had it out until she said, well, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next Thursday and head out next Thursday. Well, I'll do it next Friday and I'll come back next Friday. Well, I'll do it and then I'll do it next Saturday. If she says she will, but if she didn't do it, how would I feel? After a time, I would say, well, Cheryl says she's going to help me, but she didn't. Yep. And in times like this, what do we need? Something we can count on. And what can we always count on? Who said it? I will never forsake. Who said I will never? Hey, that's why our actions are so important, because we are the body of Christ. If we fail, folks, and here's what so many folks, they don't get. If we fail people what they may think about us for about 5 minutes, for about 10 minutes, for about 15 minutes, but who do they hold responsible? Lord, I prayed, I asked for help, and hey, nobody came. And hey, there was Daryl, and he's supposed to be what? A Christian. And here's how he acted. What did he say? Who would receive the glory? Him. That is when we act how we should. But when we do not act how we should, he as well, receives what? It ain't the glory, right? And why are we here? To spread the glory of the gospel of Christ. So as we go about our week, Kyle, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm not going to hold you long, Kyle. So that's going to let